Hi everyone, welcome to another video as part of Pandas tutorial series. So in this video we are going to understand how Pandas can be used for interaction with MySQL database. The reason to take this topic is because in the previous video we have understood how can I fetch data which is the stock data using the web component, that is the data reader, and using that we have seen how do I fetch the stock price for various companies. So that we have seen as part of the previous video. So in this video we will try to see how do I now interact with MySQL database when I have pandas as the means for doing that. So let's get going. So as a part of this video, we are going to understand the prerequisite, which is part of the installation. Then we'll try to understand what tables do I need to create for using pandas. And then we will try to understand the demo. That means as a part of overview of activity, we'll try to understand what are we going to do in this hands-on activity. And then obviously we are going to do the hands-on. So let's now get into the prerequisite. So the first very prerequisite or the very basic thing that you need to have is you require MySQL database installed on your laptop or the desktop and ensure that it is working properly. So this is like a very basic prerequisite, because without that you cannot proceed. So you obviously you need to have MySQL database installed on your laptop. Then you need to open the command prompt as administrator, and then you need to install SQL Alchemy. So that is the one of the libraries that we are going to make use of that. So by using a pip command you can install SQL Alchemy. Then you can also install pymysql. So by again issuing pip command, pip install pymysql, you can have both these things. So it's very easy once you have the MySQL up and running on your desktop or the laptop. Then the tables that we need to create are basically, we first need to create a database, and let's say that we will give the name as pandas db. So as I am showing on the screen, let's give a name to the database, say pandas db. And then once you have created this pandas db as the database, in that you need to create two tables. So the first table, let's say that I am calling it as a table 1, so it will be customers. So let's say that I have the table which basically is going to keep the record of customer. So it will have ID, which is going to be the primary ID, PKID, which is obviously auto increment property, then the name of the customer, and then let's say the phone number of the customer. So these are the columns, that is primary ID or the ID, name, and the phone number are three columns of the customers. Then the second table, table 2, is called as orders. So let's say some customers are giving order for say buying telephone or some electronic equipment or in general any other equipment. So we are going to basically keep track of that. So orders will have once again its ID, which is a primary ID, primary key, then name of that whatever the name, and then the amount, that means the price that the person is paying for that particular order, and then the customer ID, because we need to link what order a particular customer is giving. So this customer ID is essentially it's a foreign key. So you are going to create two tables, one is customers, another is an orders, and the columns will be like this. In the demo I will anyway show you this. So then what are we doing is, so it is basically going to map ID of customers, that means ID of the customer table. So it is going to do the mapping. That's why we have made use of the foreign key concept. So then we need to populate the table 1 and table 2 with some data. So once you have this prerequisite or sort of a database which is say called as pandas db, the name of the database is pandas db, then two tables, that is table 1 and table 2, say customers and order, we are ready to go once you have populated this table 1 and table 2 with some data. So let's now try to understand what are we going to do as part of this demonstration. So in this demonstration we are basically going to first connect to database using a particular connection string. So I will show you that how to do that. Then we are going to read some data from the table 1, that is the customers, and then using that data we are going to create a data frame. Then we are going to perform a join query So the join query will be performed on the two tables data that we have, that is customers and the orders. Then on table 1 and table 2, using this table 1 and table 2, we are going to perform the join query. Then we are going to display the result of the query operation, which is the join query operation. Then we want to read additional data from a CSV file. So we read that additional customer data, which is going to be the customer data, so that we are going to read from CSV file. Then we create a new data frame. Then using this new data frame, we are going to insert this new data or the additional data into the customers table, that is table 1. Then we need to verify whether the data got inserted. So for that, we are going to display the additional customer data. So this is about this particular video where we are going to use pandas to interact with MySQL database. So in the next video, we are going to take a look at the hands-on.